we probably won't get into a game immediately. There are 11 minutes. Well, we can have a look at the game. And we can have a talk about the fun things. How long was his PW? What do you mean by PW? I got to follow. Thank you. Pee-wee? I don't know what he's talking about. Sus. Very sus. I wish I could slow this down. There probably is a way. Oh well. We can have a Discord stream lag heavily. The Discord stream very likely does lag a bit. Because I'm streaming on OBS. It will have stopped streaming because I closed the particular launcher. I can reopen it. There we go. We'll wait for it to catch up. Look at Blossom, never want to miss the action. Yeah. It was very helpful. Yes. We have the good old Tsar versus Tsar. This is a very late Tsar. I hope he's got something from it. He got... don't know. So the idea of the Tsar, keep it alive. Don't let it die. As with all T2 units, keep them alive. Why is Pondcom? Oh, Pond? Because Pond is a front player. As you can see here, they overextended their Tsar. He got killed. You need to have... the Tsar is not a unit that can survive on its own. It needs support. If it hasn't support, it's very, very powerful. Yeah, Pondcom is middle because he walked up to middle to help mid. That's why. He doesn't need to be at home. The commander is very useful on the front. This is a pretty good defense. Dotting some walls around often slows people down. So who's the guy making pinpointers? Nobody. Generally, the eco guy wants to make pinpointers. You can do it from Geo, but generally from eco. What is usually a good timing for T2 lab for Pond? After your T2 mexes. Pretty much always. You never really want to go T2. You never want to, basically never want to make a T2 lab off T1 mexes. Except as Geo or eco. It's just really expensive. You should just be making units. You should be trying to get a T2 con from your Geo player as soon as you can. As soon as he'll give it to you. Or from your eco player, either one. If they don't give it to you and you pay them, then you can flame the fuck out of them. And they deserve it. They might have to delay giving it to you because they can't give it to you if they have to make units to save things. If you're dying and you ask for a T2 con, you're probably not going to get it. He's going to make units to save you first, and he should. See the power of tick spam? Mass for a bunch of ticks, send them forward. Nearly kills a Tsar. Pushes it back. Very good. Having some AA on the front, very powerful. Prevents comm drops, prevents abductors from doing abductor shenanigans. Can destroyer reach Geo? Can't reach this Geo, can reach this Geo. So you often see these T2 walls. It's possible to go early amphib as Pond and use salamanders in front. Yes. Amphibs are a fairly... So we used to see, before we saw Tsar, we used to see... Hello. We used to see... we used to see... Sorry, I'm distracted. We used to see poison arrows from Pond fairly often. which are weak as ours, basically, but they're buildable out of the amphib lab. So people would make they'd open a vehicle lab, they'd make an amphib lab in here, and they'd make poison arrows. Salamanders are very energy intensive. They didn't used to be, but they are now. I guess it's true of poison arrows as well. So you need to make sure you have a decent energy economy before you can actually spam them. But using the amphib lab to get out T2 effective units earlier is a thing that people do. I've even seen some guy make an amphib lab here and go turtles, and send them up here. Turtles are not very good, but you can do that. This front line is super stable. This is where you would be thinking about things like going into sea, going into air, going to the back line and start making economy. Because you're not under any pressure. He's getting a Serb up. He's got pork. They've got a couple of T2 units. There's no pressure coming their way. I like South Sea Com going for Geo. Do you mean this guy? I assume. All right. Yes. I guess he saw that there was a pork on the pork there. Last com. Oh, it's the last com. Okay, that makes complete sense. He's the last one. It's gonna get bombed now anyway. Yeah. There's not really a whole lot to talk about on this front line. They have hard stabilized. This is when you can go here. You can't really save this. It's already lost. It's very common for the air spot to sacrifice their com. We'll get to that when I talk about air spot. I'm not a particularly good air player. But yes. The air spot generally does sacrifice their com. I would recommend that you try to keep a little bit of metal in your commander. You're the most amazing air player. I am the best air player that doesn't ever play the air spot. I'm the best surprise air player. The air spot itself is really boring. But yes, this is when you would help here. Another thing that's very important, if you lose mexes, this is the thing that people do a lot. If you lose a position, retake it. It sounds obvious, but I very often see, for instance, if this person has died, people just pork here. It's really no good way of mitigating allies. Cover all map with a reclaim circle issue. No, I'm afraid not. I have seen people get sufficiently angry that they call kick ban votes on people who do that. But I don't think I've seen one go through, but I have seen people get very angry about it. Don't reclaim the whole island, because you'll screw over your team. If you do a circle like this, it's really bad. Find where the things you want to reclaim are, draw little circles. Do that way, because otherwise you screw up your team. This game looks like it's pretty over, I'll be honest. They don't really have any advantages anywhere. Their one real hope in this game was to push out in this scene. So you should need to be looking for places you can build advantages. If you can't push here, you should be looking for something else to do. If this guy had made a bunch of ducks and put them in the sea, it would have made things much better for his team. If they were pushing this out, I'd say this game is winnable. You won't see Windmaker's front too weak. I mean, so what? There's nothing there. He's got a serve up. He's got some pork. He's got jammers. He's got commanders. He's got T2 units. It is possible that you commit to it and they hard commit to units on land and you die. But if that happens, you're going to die either way. You need to find an advantage somewhere. If you can't kill them here, find somewhere else to kill them. I always feel my enemy is actually massing a huge army push. This is, yes, I completely understand, because often they are. That's a bold choice. They often are, and you should be at least worrying about it. But this is the importance of scouting. You need to scout. You need to have radar in good position. A single lab of tick spam on the front, coming up, doing a line along the front, gives you a lot of information about what they have there. And you can make decisions based on that. Speaking of tick spam, what is the eco requirement for that? Technically, 1 mex, but 1 lab of tick spam does not cost very much. It's going to depend on exactly how much ticks you want to make. If you're on T2 mexes and you have a fusion, you could do 1 lab tick spam, no problem. Specifically, 1 lab tick spam is 2 nanos on 1 lab. 2 nanos approximately saturates a lab of ticks. You can get it. It's like 75% of or more of maximum output. Any more than that isn't really worth it. So 1 lab of tick spam, 2 nanos on it. You can do that as basically anybody. Ticks are very, very cheap. I think I am very hungry actually. I've just realised. It might be time for me to head off. I will. Oh god, I'm playing. I didn't want to do that. I'm hungry. Talking makes me hungry. It does. I think my mic cover is dusty as well, so it's making my nose dry out. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's unless anybody has a specific question. I do have a YouTube channel. To try and find it. I should have linked it to my whatchamacallit, but if I have a dog being insistent that it wants attention. But yes, I'll grab a I'll find the link now. As soon as the dog stops nudging me. I will upload everything. I am going to put the VOD on the Twitch channel for it'll last a couple of weeks because I don't have any. I don't have affiliate or anything because I haven't bothered. But I'll put everything up on the YouTube. I'll try and edit it so that it's split into all the various positions. 6 videos only. Yes. Can you highlight it? You can highlight it permanent. Okay, maybe I'll have a look at that. I'll try and work it out. Yeah. I think that's all of the things. As somebody says, need to feed this man. I do need to feed me. I need to entertain a dog. And beyond that, if anybody has nothing else, I will. I'll be heading off. I will say good evening, good night, good morning, whichever it may be for you. Thanks, Tara. And I hope it's been helpful. I will try to have a slightly better plan of what I want to talk about next time. All right, see you all.